Yo, so in one of my IG posts, I asked for some music recommendations, and somebody left a comment that said, Nines just dropped, Get Hip. And it kind of hit me because I like to think I'm hip to everything. Like, what you mean get hip? But I definitely had never heard of Nines. And I had to go figure it out. I had to go tap in. ChatGPT, tell me about this motherfucker Nines. Who is Nines? Tell me about the UK rapper Nines. Nines, whose real name is Courtney Freckleton, is a popular UK rapper, songwriter, and actor. He was born January 17, 1990 in London and is of Jamaican descent. Woo! Okay, he been out for a while. He gained popularity with the release of his mixtapes One Foot In 2012 and One Foot Out in 2017. It's funny that he named those projects One Foot In and One Foot Out because that's definitely the narrative and the story that he was telling on this album. Seems like he's been consistent throughout his career. Nines' music is known for its introspective lyrics. That's accurate, ChatGPT. I'm very introspective on this album. So I've listened to this Crop Circles 2 a few times since I discovered it, since the dude put me on. Shout out to him. And I'm definitely not disappointed by it. My first thought listening to it was like, is this dude like the UK Lil Baby? One, because this is obviously street rap. And two, he talks about selling weed a lot. And if you listen to Lil Baby always raps about, you know, trapping. I feel like he really leans into, I used to sell a lot of weed. And this dude is definitely talking about selling a lot of weed. I definitely feel like this album is palatable to a US consumer or a music listener, that being me. I liked it, but I don't feel like he was necessarily playing to us because I don't think he has a lot of like, you know, looking at the feature list, he don't really have no US features or anything like that. But maybe it's because his accent isn't really that heavy. He was definitely easily understandable. I feel like the production that he chose was definitely some shit that I'm used to listening to. It wasn't too, you know, abrupt. It wasn't too brash. It was some smooth shit. And he was just reflecting on his life, which I can definitely get into. Playing into that whole thing about this album being palatable to the US consumer, on that joint, Holly Blessed, he shouted out Nipsey, Young Dolph, Lil Snoop. And I thought it was interesting that he shouted out all US rappers who died. And I'm like, are the UK consumers that tapped into the US? Did he do that on purpose? Is niggas getting killed over in the UK? But that was a good song, Holly Blessed by Calendar. Let's get into Calendar. That joint felt like it could have been some old DMX song, like 90s R&B flip, like on some DMX, what these bitches want from a nigga, really just talking about having a lot of girls and I don't got the time for them. Kind of generic, but that was a standout joint. The joint Nothing Like Me felt like a nicer version of Nipsey's Rap Niggas. Like, Nipsey's Rap Niggas is super aggressive. I ain't nothing like you rap niggas. His shit is like, y'all not nothing like me. I'm fly, I'm getting money. I respected it, but that's what came to my mind when I listened to that joint. I feel like on Tony Soprano too, he was really submitting that he's like a weed kingpin. When you was in the UK, wherever the hell he was from, he was that guy. He was getting the packs in. But that also begs the question, as somebody who lives in Los Angeles and may or may not indulge in the greenery, are y'all smoking gas in the UK? Because when I go to New York, they ain't smoking gas in NYC. So I know all the way over across the pond, it might not be hitting the same as it hit here in LA on the West Coast. I would love to know, are y'all smoking gas or not in the UK? Is he a mid kingpin selling all the mid in the UK? Wristwatch, Pray for This. We love a 2-in-1 song. He did his thing on both of those joints, delivered good production, popping his shit. Can't go wrong. I also like the joint Fuck the World. Koji Radical, I listened to his album, Reason to Smile. Was very impressed by him on that album, as well as this verse. He's somebody who I'm definitely gonna be keeping my eye on. Another person who I was like, I seen his name, didn't know who the fuck he was. I look into him, he's a big ass star, won awards and shit. It's crazy how there's so many people in the world who can be doing the biggest shit, and it's always gonna be somebody who doesn't know who the fuck they are. Hear Me Out was another joint I liked. He said he had snipers on the roof anytime he threw a party. And I respect that, cause you throw a little function at your house, you got people trying to sneak in the rooms, niggas trying to hop over the fence. You know how I go out here in LA, I wouldn't advise you to throw no parties, don't get no Airbnbs and none of that shit. RIP to Pop Smoke. And I also really respect that he ended this album very good. The outro joint, I like that he was really submitting that. I talked about all the street shit throughout the album, but I'm over that shit. I'm tapped out. Don't talk to me about that. I don't know what's going on with anything or anybody in the streets. I'm past that. I'm trying to make legal money. It's better living. And I respect that he ended the album on that note. Like, cause niggas need to get past that street shit. It's all right to do what you gotta do at a point, but at a point, it's like, that shit petty, you gotta move on. And I like that he ended with a more positive note, like, and niggas should definitely take heed to that one. Cause we don't got time to be chatting about who did what, Lil Tay Tay shot Man, and Pookie, Rob, Lil Tay Tay, and all that shit. Long story short, I fuck with this Nines Prop Circle 2. He's gained a new fan out of me. I would definitely go back and listen to his discography. If you got a recommendation of another Nines project I should listen to, I know the next thought is go listen to Crop Circle, the original joint, but maybe there's a better project that I should tap in with. Feel free to let me know. Also, I obviously need to get more hip with UK rappers, so give me a tip, give me artists that you think I should tap in with. Like I said, I'm familiar with Nux. I didn't say that, but I listen to Nux, I like him. I'm also familiar with Koji Radical, but that's about it. Nux, Koji Radical, Venna. Venna's kind of connected to Nux and he's a producer. But long story short, Prop Circles 2, good album, gets my stamp of approval. Appreciate the recommendation.